This is me and my dad, and this is him with his beloved Rolleiflex camera. At far too young an age, he died from cancer. I was a student at St Martin's School of Art when I heard that the Royal Marsden, when my dad had died, was in desperate need for public donations to buy a full body scanner. One day I bumped into Andy Warhol, who signed this book whilst I took photographs of him, and it occurred to me that I could take photographs of famous people using my dad's camera to raise money for the Royal Marsden. So I started writing to everyone I ever wanted to meet. Every actor, author, comedian, musician, politician. I invited them all round to my bedroom, which I converted into a tiny studio. I didn't know where they all lived, so I just handed letters in at stage doors or wrote to the BBC. The first response was from Patrick Moore, the astronomer. Within a couple of weeks, he'd come round to my house, and I used my dad's camera to take this portrait of him. Soon I was getting loads of replies, with people coming round to my house or inviting me round to theirs. And soon I began to build up an amazing collection of famous faces, all of whom sat for me to help me to raise money and awareness for the Royal Marsden Cancer Hospital. And a splendid time was had by all. I was offered some exhibition space at the Royal Court Theatre, so I built a small darkroom in my shower room at home, and because I had no money, I framed all my early exhibitions in glass from a dismantled greenhouse. Here's the box I used to screw to the wall for donations, which I'd carry round the corner to the Royal Marsden each week. Local papers and magazines started to cover the story, and then the National Theatre offered me exhibition space in the Littleton corridor. Many of my sitters came to the launch, including Michael Hordern, Connie Booth, Richard Briers. Then I had the idea to ask lots of famous people, if you weren't who you were, who would you like to have been? Based on their replies, I painted backdrops on my bedroom wall and hired costumes, beards and wigs. And over the next year or two, I photographed everyone as their fantasy or legendary character. All of these became a book called Double Takes, which I launched in my bedroom at my mum's house. This pile of celebrities sat on the bed upstairs and promptly broke it. I was asked on to lots of TV shows to talk about my pictures.
Very extraordinary photographs by photographer Anthony Grant. He wanted to do something to raise money for cancer research, and he hit upon the idea of asking people, who would you like to have been? And a surprising number of very famous people answered. And these are some of the answers he got. This is Spike Milligan as President of the United States. Next, this is John Cleese coming up as Lady Jane Grey. He was asked why he'd chosen her, and he said, I suppose I'm drawn to Lady Jane because she was such a complete prat.
I was happy to have played a small part in the Marsden's appeal for a scanner. So quite a lot later, the National Theatre suggested a retrospective of my work. I was happy once again to be able to support the Marsden and to welcome back lots of my old sitters, like George Martin, Ronnie Wood, and of course, 35 years later, Richard Briers. Now it's the digital age, and I'm able to use my photographs in a whole new way to support the Royal Marsden. I've created this YouTube channel where each week a new episode will explore one of my sittings, like this one with Henry Moore, which uses letters, negatives, rare prints and videos. Or contemporary sittings like this one with Sophie Wood, showing viewers behind the scenes and exploring the images I take. How does it raise money for the Marsden? Well, it costs nothing to subscribe, but subscribers attract advertisers, and advertisers create revenue, which means I'll be able to support the Royal Marsden's cancer charity. Portraits for a Purpose, a 40-year-old idea which continues to raise money and awareness for the Royal Marsden. Thank you for supporting me.